Hey, good morning. I thought it'd be fun to show the top 10 comics that's in my collection. I know some folks don't like top 10 lists, but I kind of have some nostalgic feeling because you guys remember top 10 used to be a thing in Wizard, right? So looking back, I mean, this is July 1996, and these were the top 10 comics back in the day. Look at that, Preacher number one, Wolverine 100 with those that foil cover. Dawn, the bad girl craze in the 90s. She number one. X-Files number one. DC versus Marvel. Hitman number one. Lady Death was a big book back in the day. That was expensive. Now it's just like you can find that for like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, 10 bucks. Lady Death Odyssey, I don't remember this book at all. And Angel number one. So let's go over what the top 10 of this week's key collector. This is the first time I kind of got it and knocked it out of the park, 10 out of 10. So I thought it'd be fun to just showcase the key books that I have when I got all 10 books. I mean, I really don't care for much most of the time with top 10, but this was kind of cool that I looked at it and I was like, oh, I got all the books, and not all high grade, as you can tell. I mean, this one's like low grade, better than a no grade, right? So this is a cool green cover, the Green Lantern, Green Arrow. This have some significance, right? This is like the start of a new era in DC Comics. I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I appreciate some of the stories and the covers and the classic characters of the DC universe. So Green Lantern, Green Arrow 76 was on the top 10 this week. Number 2 on that list was the classic Hulk 181, second appearance of Wolverine. First full cover of Wolverine. Awesome book. I've had this book twice now. This is my second copy. I got this about a year and a half ago on a great deal before when prices were dropping. This is about a 7.0 copy. I mean, it's got a little bit of issues with that corner and maybe a couple of spine ticks, but I would say it's a 7.0. I mean, if you guys want to drop a comment, if you guys have another opinion of it, but there's not much to it. It even has a 25-cent. This is I'm the second owner on this. The original owner was older gentleman, bought it in the 70s at a drugstore, is what I was told. This is from the Midwest area. This is where I picked this one up. So it's pretty cool to have that history. And it's got a pen markship right there. All right. Number 3 on that list was Batman 251, which is one of my favorite covers. This is also a second copy I've owned. I originally got this, my original copy, which I don't have anymore. I sold my original collection a long time ago, 2011-ish, before comics were just booming in the 2010s. But 2011, books weren't that expensive. And I sold my collection really cheap. But I had a copy that was lower grade than this, and wish I didn't. One of the books I wanted to get back when I got back in collecting in 2018 was Batman 251. This book right here is the classic Joker cover with him being more sadistic and chaotic and more that chaos force behind Batman's rogue villains. And this is like the key issue where he just kind of goes crazy. So it's a decent copy. I got this on an online deal. Just a couple spine ticks and a little bit of soft corner right there. But I'm pretty happy with this cover, this copy. Back cover looks great. Just for those couple of issues with that front cover. But it sits really nice. All right, and the next book here, growing up, this was my thing. So Transformers number 1 was a big thing to get when I got back in collecting. This was a huge thing when I was growing up. I had all a large corner of my room was dedicated to all my Transformers in the box still. I don't know why, but it's probably my OCD that I didn't know I had when I was a kid. I would play with the toy and put it right back into its foam and then right back into the box. And then when I was done playing with it, I would just continually do that. I don't know. I felt like the need to just display my Transformers as a kid in the 80s. But this is nonetheless a great book to have if you're an 80s kid or if you're a robot fan. The next book on that list is Iron Fist 14, first appearance of Sabretooth. Though this is a cool book. Growing up, I always wanted to get this book because in the 80s and the 90s, Wolverine slowly became it's yin and yang. And Sabretooth wasn't written that way in the beginning, but it was kind of smartly done by Chris Claremont and the creators after to have Sabretooth as the main enemy for Wolverine, Logan. So, decent copy. I also got in a great online deal relationship, business relationship. I just kept going back and forth with key books the guy had. So this was one of the ones that he mentioned that he got. I probably can upgrade this, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's a decent copy. This book has slowly been rising again, getting some hype. New Mutants number 87. This is a fun book. This is the second copy I've owned too as well. My original copy I got in Costco back in the day when they had Costco comic packs. I think they were sold in pack of 20s or a pack of 30s, I think. And I had a copy. It was just pristine and bloody red like this too as well. It was a very sharp copy. This is almost the same copy I owned. A couple of spine tick issues that are probably color breaking. You can't tell because it's the white paper. But it's a very sharp copy of the first appearance of Cable with Liefeld and McFarlane. Look at that. I don't know if they're best friends anymore, but they work together on the cover, and this is one of them. Uncanny X-Men 130. So this girl has blown up because of this whole X-Men universe that's going to be showing up soon in a major movie. Instead of cameos that we've been seeing. And the rumor is Taylor Swift will be playing Dazzler one day. But anyways, this was a cool book, and it's slowly been rising. Not because of Taylor Swift. Well, yeah, for her too. But then prior to that, people were speculating that she's going to be appearing in movies, and this book was rising already. So Uncanny X-Men 130, part of the Dark Phoenix saga. This was part 2 in the Dark Phoenix saga. Going down the list is Star Wars. So all Star Wars fans would want to own this copy. This is the first appearance of Star Wars in comic books. The super rare 35-cent issue would be cool to own, but it's so hard to find that. So this is the next best thing, is the first appearance, and it's a regular edition newsstand cover version, and there's many versions of this cover. There's the Whitman cover, there's the reprint covers, and the reprint with the reprint that's in here in the box here written, and there's ones without the barcode. A lot of versions of this, but this is an epic book to own. And almost done here, guys. The last two books. This is the New Mutants 98. This was a book I remember. This is my second copy as well. I've owned this. I got my first copy in Berkeley back in the day. I remember I traveled all the way through BART looking for this book. Walked in a store. I forgot what store it was in Berkeley, but they had it on the wall, and I think I only paid for a near mint, it was maybe 60 to 50 bucks in the early 2000s, or was it the 90s? I forget when I got that copy. This is my second copy. This is a newsstand. Okay copy. I mean, this is probably a very fine. It's with some spine tick issues, but it's a decent copy for a newsstand to own. Last but not least, one of my favorite books. This is also my third, fourth copy I've owned. There was a collection in I want to say mid 2000s, late 2000s that I bought that also had that Batman 251 the Joker cover Batman one, and a bunch of Wolverines. It's a ridiculous amount. Like I want to say there was like at least 10 copies of this in this collection that I bought for like $300, and to this day it was one of the greatest Craigslist finds that I ever done. Where I just went to some weird neighborhood late at night, saw the listing, went up. So, older couple, probably at the time they were in their 40s or 50s. They didn't know any comic books at all, and they were like, "Yeah, is this stuff any good?" And I said, "Yeah, it's decent. I'll definitely get it from you." And it was like probably like 4 or 5 long boxes for $300, and this alone there was like 10 of these, like I said, and then that Batman 251, Muhammad Ali versus Superman, tons of books. I forget what else was in that collection, but maybe a good amount of like one full box of keys and minor keys and covers and stuff, and the rest were just like fillers and junk. But I remember I was giving these out in 2000s. Like I had a couple of friends back in the day would we always go to the comic book shops on new comic book Wednesdays, and we would just go to lunch together, at lunch break, and head to the comic shop and get some lunch. And I remember I gave away a free copy. It's like, "Hey, bro, like I know this is one of your favorite covers too. Here's one. I just got 10 of these recently on a pickup." So this is a very classic cover, right? This is Frank Miller, and this is Chris Claremont. This is where the original, he does what is it? The best of what he does was written first in this book. Actually, I think it was the first page or second page where he writes that Claremont's classic iconic phrase for Wolverine. So this is another great pickup from the same guy I bought Iron Fist 14 from, coincidentally, and he has a huge collection of bronze. And then I think I've slowly chipped away his collection, and he started just keeping some away for more future, like selling off his collection. But this one, I'm very glad to pick up a direct edition. Very clean copy. I'd want to say this is probably going to be like a 9.6. It lays so flat. It does have this stacking curl, as you can see in the video. A lot of people incorrectly mentioned this is a spine roll. This is not a spine roll. Stacking curl is what you call it in the pressing world. So it does have that. I can probably press that out. But it's a beautiful book. Orange, red cover. Colors are bright, lays flat, beside that stacking curl, but it's just, man, just really beautiful. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in on my fun little video on top 10 comics. Top 10 comics are always fun. I thought it's just fun to just debate and talk about if you're into top 10 comics. If you're not, it's a fun hobby. So there's room to really get into all types of parts we love about the hobby. But just wanted to share this since top 10 was a huge thing back in the day in the 90s. I don't think it was done before that. If you guys can correct me in the comments, if top 10 was a thing before Wizard in the 90s. I'm not sure if it was in the 80s. But yeah, thanks, guys.